I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
It is a Wednesday morning, and every Wednesday morning after the 10 a.m. news, we check in with our friends in Ottawa. In fact, in the only reporter-owned and operated newsroom covering our nation's capital. It is the Blacklocks Reporter. You'll find it online, blacklocks.ca, and you'll find it well worth that subscription because you'll get stuff there that you don't often find anywhere else. The managing editor of the Blacklocks Reporter is Tom Korski, who joins us for these weekly chats. Tom, good morning.
Morning, Mike.
Seems to me, according to what I've read at Blacklocks, that the Gulf War doesn't warrant any recognition on our National War Memorial, nor does it warrant combat benefits for the veterans of the Gulf War.
35 years ago this week it ended. Hard to believe, isn't it? And there were over 4,000 Canadians who served in that war. It is true the war lasted 8 months and there were no Canadian combat deaths. But you recall those days, anyone who was alive then, there was a real sense it could have ended very badly. There was really no predictive outcome. And ever since then, for 35 years, the Canadian service people who had served in that war have sought combat benefits and recognition on the National War Memorial. We see through access to information records now, Mike, that the feds have really gone to the wall on exclusion on the National War Memorial since there were no deaths. And they have really had to be dragged kicking and screaming, including by the Commons Veterans Affairs Committee, to extend ordinary wartime benefits to the over 4,000 who served in Kuwait after Iraq invaded that country. It's interesting that there is a special corner of hell for any veteran. If you ever run across a veteran, ask them how it went with their pension or benefits claim with the Department of Veterans Affairs. It is, you talk to any of them, and I mean anybody. I've never met anyone who had a happy experience. It's always a game to drive mice crazy.
I struggle with this one an awful lot, Tom. Even former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney's appeal fell on deaf ears.
He did. In 2022, Mulroney wrote a personal letter. We see it through access to information from his home to the Minister of National Defense and said, we can't forget these people. They did honor our country, and it was an important event. And Mulroney, in response from the defense minister in the day, Anita Anand, got a form letter. Can you imagine? He got a form letter. It said, "Dear Brian Mulroney," and it essentially said in slightly more eloquent terms, "This is not my department. Bring it up with Veterans Affairs." So there you go. If a former prime minister can't get anything resembling service when it comes to veterans benefits, imagine if you're just a veteran. It's a thing.
Yeah, just a veteran, indeed. Okay, let's move on to Canada Post. We give it money and then we give it more money and say it ain't so, Tom, that we're never going to see that money again?
Say members of the Commons Government Operations Committee, they have been trying to go through Canada Post accounts. The Post Office in the last 13 months has received $2 billion in special loans from Cabinet. They are not yet reporting their 2025 losses. It's expected to be about $1 billion, Mike. That would be the biggest annual loss ever. And MPs are saying, let's be frank with the taxpayer. We're never seeing that money again, are we? Well, testified Canada Post executives, no, these are repayable loans. On their best day, they say not until they are financially viable. I'm using air quotes here. Financially viable. Will the Canada Post Corporation consider repaying those loans to taxpayers? You'll never see that money again. It's gone.
Be frank with the taxpayer, Tom. What language is this that you're speaking this morning?
I know.
Okay, we have the high-speed rail proposal. I know we've taken a first step on that rail line, but and boy, it sounds beautiful. It's gonna run fast. It's gonna reduce congestion. It's a sexy project, but up to $90 billion to get it done.
And that's a guesstimate. This is on the level. That's the CEO of the Crown Corporation. It's called Alto, formerly Via Rail, High Speed Rail. Crown Corporation that's overseeing the project. This is the fantasy they've been kicking this around literally since centennial. This was a centennial year project. That's 1967 for anyone under the age of 60. And here is the Crown Corporation testifying in Senate National Finance Committee. Says sexy project. His words, not mine. Admitted they don't have any cost. Even to call it an estimate, $60 to $90 billion is just guesswork. They haven't done the engineering. They don't know when it will be completed. Minimum first stage is 7 years, and that's for Ottawa to Montreal, for anyone who happens to live in those two cities. So a highly regional project, an extraordinary cost, and many, many delays. I would put a bet on this, and I'm not a gambling man, Mike, that you are never, ever stepping foot on a high-speed train from southern or southwest Ontario to go into Montreal. However, you may pass a rabbit hole that consumes billions and billions of taxpayers' dollars with nothing to show for it. That's a surety.
I love the way you put that, because we have been chasing, well, as you said, it's a centennial. It was a centennial project, and all we do is talk and spend and talk and spend, and the rail. I'm with you. I would put money on that same thing, Tom. That's a safe bet from where I'm sitting.
I remember the old turbo trains. Some of the old timers, some graybeards might remember the turbo trains. That was Paul Hellyer. The late Paul Hellyer was Minister of Transport in the day, and they were going to put Pratt and Whitney jet engines into locomotives, and it was going to zoom you at 100 miles an hour from southwest Ontario up to Ottawa. The inaugural flight, it hit a truck in Kingston and was derailed. Now, there it is. So we're talking, 55 years of futility, yes.
Okay. One final point before I let you go, because it was just mentioned in our 10 a.m. news update, and that is money by way of aid that Canada will be sending to Cuba. Blacklock's also reporting on this from Global Affairs, but an undisclosed sum of taxpayer money headed to Cuba, Tom.
They wouldn't disclose it in committee last evening. Now, you mentioned on your newscast correctly, it's about $8.5 million. Sounds like a lot of money. It's not, and the feds used the adjective accelerated. It sounds like they are merely advancing this year's normal foreign aid to Cuba through UNICEF and the World Food Program. $8.5 million is nothing to sneeze at, but Cuba has been on the foreign aid list for years and years and years. 2 years ago, they got $6.5 million. The ambassador from Cuba testified in Foreign Affairs Committee, said it was all America's fault. He was asked some very probative questions. One MP, Leanne Rood, asked, how many political prisoners you got in Cuba, by the way? Oh, no, we don't have any, he said. You don't go to prison for your beliefs in Cuba. You go there for breaking the law, see? So they can play semantics, too, just because English is a second language.
But everybody understands $8.5 million.
That's money.
Yes, that's money. Exactly, yeah. Tom, as always, appreciate the conversations. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mike.
Tom Korski is the managing editor at the Blacklock's Reporter, our only reporter-owned and operated newsroom that is covering the nation's capital. You can find more online, blacklocks.ca. I think you'll like what you find there. And Tom brings some of it to our show each and every Wednesday morning just after the 10 a.m. news.